Add as. Thank you for
Let's get down to business.
You're in for a little shock. Yeah.
Freeze. How's this? What's the cool it? My blade. Dodge this.
You're in for a little shock.
Fine. No. A reward on the road.
Since we first set foot on Inazuma. So many things have happened since then. Yeah, we've definitely made... So, Huh? Hey! What the heck was that for? Doesn't want to talk, huh? All right, let's convince him to calm down a little.
Oh, so sorry. Don't push your luck. Freeze.
Huh? So you don't have a vision after all. Seems like I've mistaken you for some...
At the very least, you should make sure you've got the right... No, wait! Even when you've got the right person...
Have you ever met someone by the name of Kaedehara? He carries a sword just like you. I've also... That's none of your business. Never mind. You don't look like you know anything anyway. I'm wasting my time.
guy's problem. Coming around here, waving that weird... Well, one thing's for sure. No way are we telling... Right? Anyway, just to be on the safe side... Oh? What kind of hunch? A special connection? You mean beyond our... Yeah. Maybe a little... Anyway, there's no time to lose. Paimon heard that the Crux fleet is stocking up in Rito at the moment.
You're looking for Kazuha too, huh? Guess he must have done something impressive after all. Well, we took the small vessels into Rito on a routine supply run, only this time, as soon as we entered the harbor, we ran into a... If it's because of that battle on Nizuchi Beach, Captain Beto had a great run there too, but I don't see... Kazuha keeps to himself most of the time. In fact, there are times when he doesn't even...
Oh, so you...
I've heard bits and pieces. Something about him blocking the ride and show... Is it really as big a deal as everyone's making it out? Really? Wow. When you put it like that, it all makes... He was called away earlier by some people. I thought they'd come to arrest him at first. Turns out they couldn't have been friendly.
Just a little while ago, this would have been completely unimaginable. Thank you! Guess...
All right, then. I'll just stay here.
Oh? It's you.
Greetings. We were just discussing the repealing of the Vision Hunt Decree. We invited Mr. Kaedahara here to extend a gesture of goodwill on behalf... Your hard work has secured for us the agreeable state of affairs that we now enjoy. Also, the Almighty Shogun has issued a large array of directives aimed at resolving, or at least The Tri-Commission has made the recommendation to use this opportunity to restore the honor. Regarding the history of the Kaedahara clan, I trust that you're already somewhat... In short, there was once a group of select bladesmiths who served the Shogun directly, responsible for upholding and further developing the traditional blade forging arts of the Almighty. But there came a time when some of these bladesmiths revolted and fled to Snezhnaya. We later learned that the whole misadventure had been secretly orchestrated by the Fatui, attributing all of the blame to the Kamisato and Kaedahara clan. Considering Mr. Kaedahara has once more made an outstanding contribution to Inazuma, the Almighty Shogun believes he should not only... In the interest of preventing further harassment of the Bladesmith clans by the Fatui, we chose not to publicly release the findings of our...
This is a true honor. I am delighted to be in a position to receive the goodwill of the almighty Shogun and the shogunate at large. However, would I be correct to assume that this magnanimous gesture does not come without some strings attached?
I can assure you that nothing could be further from the truth. We seek only to correct a past injustice. With the Kaedahara clan's reputation and occupation restored, the Kaedaharas will be bladesmiths once more. And your wanderings will finally... You will be able to lead a safe and prosperous life in Inazuma City, with the almighty Shogun's blessing.
I have grown accustomed to life among the elements. I fear I would no longer feel at home behind the Yet my ancestors did indeed take great pride in the name of Kaedahara, and the art of blade making for which it's...
I sense some hesitation in your words. Should you accept this offer, I imagine many of the malicious rumors currently circulating through the populace...
Malicious rumors? All we heard on the way here was so much praise that we almost...
Well, to some, the Muso no Hitotachi is something that can never be defeated. They cannot... Also, eyewitnesses saw him using the power of Electro in addition to that of Animo. As a result, also that Kaedahara Kazuha was using a delusion
What? But that doesn't make sense.
That is correct. However, to some people, the idea of a single person wielding two elements...
This is just one of many similar rumors. I am very uncomfortable with being the subject of public discussion, but perhaps if the shogunate is willing to publicly support me...
This is precisely why I encourage you to give our offer some serious thought. It stands to benefit...
In fact, let us put this discussion on hold for the moment. Well then.
Yikes! We nearly forgot about the most important...
Why would such a dangerous individual be looking for me? No. My fighting forms were taught to me by my family, based on techniques originally developed for blade testing. Over time, these techniques came to form something of a Kaedahara sword art. Those forms are quite different from the more practical ones typically used by samurai in battle. So it's hard to...
All the more reason to watch your back!
Indeed. He sounds highly aggressive. Anyone he targets is at...
In that case, I will send some men out...
Thank you. I must say, I am now very curious about this matter. I will first join the Traveler in investigating the one who attacked him. Then
Very well. Please stay safe.
Come on. Let's go and track down your aggressor.
The detective agency knows the most about what goes on in town. Let's see what Ryuji has to say. if anyone around here has...
Aha! So this is the renowned Mr. Kaedehara.
You are too kind. We are currently investigating it.
Oh? You were targeted in an assault? Mr. Kaedehara is currently the talk of the town, so there are always a lot of... To be honest with you, our detective agency has recently been received. Some of them were offering us millions of mora just to gather the information they want. If these were more
millions of mora?
Please, accept my thanks for looking out for my pride.
Of course. No matter what, we only take on legitimate cases. We don't make our money by revealing details. Sorry, I got a little off topic. But I wouldn't know where to begin if we want to
Then let's put that connection aside for now. Have there been any other attack? The Tenryou Commission had very few leads.
It's true that the commissioners aren't clued up about every little thing that goes on out in the streets. But typically, if anyone had been out there attacking people, that would be assault. In which case the Tenryou...
Uh-oh. Looks like the trail's...
I still find it difficult to believe that whoever attacked you hasn't been causing any... Few people possess your prowess in battle. So unless you were the first person he targeted, someone is certain to have been... I am well aware of your talents. There is no need to be humble around me. In fact, I'm quite relieved. It would cause me great grief to see someone become... For the poor victim, this...
Don't worry, we'll find...
It seems you are every bit the selfless hero they make you out to be, Mr. Kaedehara.
You flatter me. Truth be told...
You are much too humble. Don't worry, Oh, actually, there was one strange incident over the last... Let me tell you about it just...
Sure. During time...
All right, then. Recently, 2 people went missing from the city at around the same... One of them is a pretty well-known collector, surnamed Nagato. The other...
Amenoma!
Right. Yuya is the nephew of Amenoma Togo, the 2 grown men going missing at the same time. I recalled this because Amenoma Yuya is also an accomplished martial artist who is skilled with the
Understood, though it seems highly unlikely to me. I neither know this man, nor do I have any idea why he...
Sure! Can't hurt! We never...
Thank you, Ryuji. We'll start by...
Sounds good. All the best with your investigation.
Ah, if it isn't Kaedehara...
Huh? You two...
Yes, the Kaedehara and Amenoma clans were both members of the Raiden Gokaden. Historically, there have... After I returned to Inazuma, I visited... let me quickly explain. The Raiden Gokaden was the collective term for the 5 most acclaimed bladesmith. The techniques of blade making were personally bequeathed to the Raiden Gokaden by the almighty shogun, and over time, further honed and enhanced by the most... Unfortunately, a series of events led to the gradual decline of many clans in the bladesmithing trade. Today, only the Amenoma clan has kept...
So sad!
It is a great pity indeed. As an example, the Amenoma art strives to emulate the abiding patience. There is nothing mystical to our work. There is only practice, day in and day out, until both body and mind have memorized the craft. As for the art of the Kaedehara clan,
That's right. Ishin art strives for complete harmony between blade and... For only a blade thus forged can capture and convey its maker's thoughts and feelings, and eventually become an extension.
Indeed. Most samurai choose their blades, but an Ishin blade chooses it. You are, without a doubt, the most worthy wielder of an Ishin blade.
You overestimate me. My actions are guided by my own personal sentiments, not by any noble act. But let's get back on topic. The purpose of our visit today is to gather some... We hope to assist with the investigation.
Ah, yes. My nephew. He didn't say a word before he left, which is but I've done what I can so far. Worrying is futile.
We heard that there was a collector involved in the disappearance, too.
Yes. On the morning that Yuya went missing, I believe he went to collect the item from Miss... Yes. Strange, isn't it? I wonder...
Do you...
If I had to guess, it must have been some kind of rare weapon. Otherwise, there would have been... He's never been particularly interested in blade forging, but has always had a fond... He is extraordinarily talented in martial arts.
Truth be told, we have some information that you may... Based on the evidence we have gathered so far, only Yuya's...
What? No. Absolutely impossible. He is humble and kind. Even his training is done with the goal of calming his... Yes. If there's one thing I can say for certain, it's that Yuya would never draw his blade without a very good reason. But, with that said, it's equally out of character for him to just disappear. I also cannot know what course of action he might be capable of if coerced, or... Anyway, should you find him, please...
Don't worry. You have our word.
From the sound of that, Paimon doesn't think Yuya was the one who attacked us as well.
Yes. It sounds as if something happened. Let's pay a visit to the...
I'm very sorry, but we cannot afford to pay what... My husband has gone missing, and I'm...
No, you misunderstand us. We are here to help with the investigation.
Ah, I see. I'm sorry you have to see me in this dreadful state.
I'm afraid we don't have any new information at the moment. With this in mind, can we perhaps ask some...
For example, Paimon's struggling to understand why...
That's a long story. Ever since I've known, he'd always get so animated when he was showing them to me. I knew nothing about the items myself, but seeing how enthusiastic and excited... Everything was fine when we first got married. But as time went by, things changed for the...
Uh-oh! What?
He lost his sense of restraint. He started buying more and more things, and even resorted to borrowing money. Our expenses really spiraled out of control when he started getting interested in weapons. It was awful. There were days when he'd spend hours down at the warehouse, and he wouldn't sell them, wouldn't even touch them. Just sat there staring at them like he was in a... I'm happy he has a hobby, and I'm willing to support him. But making ends meet has to come first. On the last day that I saw him, I gave him an ultimatum. I said, if he refused to sell his collect...
Whoa!
And that led to an argument.
Actually, it didn't. Generally, he's a quiet man who likes to go with the flow. You must understand, I never would have dreamed of threatening him with divorce if the debts hadn't pushed our family to the brink. After I said those words, he froze and was silent for a long time. When he finally spoke, his voice was so meek and pitiful that I felt an urge to take everything back. But then what? If I didn't draw the line, what would happen to our family? Had I not indulged his bad habits, we wouldn't have found... And I also don't know if he had actually come to his senses. The next thing I heard was that our warehouse had caught fire, and both he...
I see. Ame no Yuya came to purchase a weapon from Mr. Nagato. During the sale, a fire...
At first, I assumed they must have gotten into... But my husband has never been one to negotiate. He never even haggles when he's out buying groceries, so it's hard to imagine...
Maybe he was...
I don't know. He just disappeared after the warehouse. Perhaps he's too afraid to come home, now that all his collectibles have been lost in the fire. Even though I'm still a little mad at him. As long as he's willing to turn over a new leaf, I know...
Please don't get upset. There could be more to this situation than meets the eye. If collecting things is a habit that Mr. Nagato had his whole life, but the information we gathered from the other side suggests Amenoma Yuya is also a mild-mannered man.
A little confusing. More like...
Let's try a change of scenery. Rest assured, we'll notify you if we find...
Thank you so much.
Based on the information we've gathered so far, I can only surmise that the sales meeting between the two, the fire at the warehouse likely played a part in how the situation unfolded. Do you have any?
Well, Paimon was thinking that... Nope, never mind. Paimon's brain needs to rest for a while. Over to you.
An interesting explanation. I was also Amenoma Yuya is an expert on swords. He could have noticed some problem. Maybe he recognized a blade as a fake, or a well-known stolen item. Either way, after arguing about it, they thought a fire would destroy everything. But it's a far-fetched theory. I can't imagine. One fact that I keep coming back to is that Amenoma Yuya is polite and well-mannered, while Mr. Nagato, being heavily in debt, is also the only one of them. The more I ponder it, the more puzzling it becomes. Right. Although the time frame seems to broadly match, no other details that we've learned. Amenoma Yuya lacks a key distinguishing feature of the attacker, namely that he is principally a practitioner of the blade testing techniques of Amenoma.
Darn! We thought we could get two birds with one stone here, but it...
Let's keep going. If we can solve the case, both Mr. Amenoma and Mrs. Nagato.
Okay, but...
Let's head out of the city and check out the warehouse. Wait, I hear something ominous in the...
Oh! This must be another one of the... As sketchy as that whole thing seems, you did put it to good...
Now I'm picking up a strong scent in...
But there's nothing here.
It's gone now, but I can still say it felt very much like that ancient presence in Inazuma. Indeed. But this unexpected spring of inauspicious... We should remain vigilant, and...
So it's an underground...
The force is definitely coming from... The source of the Tatarigami energy has long since left this place. Judging from the concentration, I would have to conclude...
Mrs. Nagato said her husband used to hang around the window.
It could well be that he was already under the... From what I've been told... Tatarigami, but most will develop a stubborn... Mr. Nagato had an interest in collecting to begin with. The influence of...
So what should we do now?
Step back. I'll open the door and take a look. If we don't open this door, we can move no... You needn't worry. But...
What's down there?
Everything's buried in debris. It looks like the fire caused a cave-in, reducing the entire warehouse to rubble.
That was too scary! Paimon was so
All we can do now is keep searching in the direction of two ordinary humans, entangled with the Tatarigami. Yes, let's go. Quiet your mind and... From this point, the main source of the Tatarigami energy continued on into the distance.
Whoa! Look at all those hilly churls! They're acting really strangely.
Something seems to be drawing their attention. Let's take a closer look.
Cool it!
You're in for a little...
Windblade! Freeze!
Bet you can't...
What's the... Dodge this! Freeze! Dodge this!
It's...
Ugh! Look at the...
By the looks of it, a letter. Written on a piece of torn cloth. Well... According to this letter, a conflict arose because Amenoma Yuya wanted... Yuya started the fire that destroyed the warehouse and wounded Mr. Nagato in the fight. Mr. Nagato kept chase as long as he could.
So...
He was not only mortally wounded, but also under the heavy influence of Tatarigami. Add to that the fact that its aura seems to have attracted whatever traces there may have been of his fate beyond after this point. They've since... Yes. Right now, if Amenoma Yuya is attacking other people indiscriminately...
Right! So let's get moving!
I wouldn't be surprised if he, too, fell prey to... For a practitioner of the martial arts, all the clues that at first seemed... I have a hypothesis that, if it's correct, not...
Wait! You figured it out?
I believe so. But it's something of an outlandish idea. On with the search.
Why here? Is there any...
I'm not sure. But on closer examination, I sense that the... Show yourself!
Kaedehara Kazuha. It's you, at last.
Aha! So what's your problem, huh? What could...
Indeed, there should be no enmity between us. But what if instead of facing Amenoma Yuya, we are in fact facing the blade in...
Now that you mention it, it is giving up. Whoa! Sure!
Tatarigami energy often lodges itself within physical objects, then works to The blade has resided in Mr. Nagato's warehouse for many years. affecting his state of mind, or rather, as a means to occupy.
You're sharper than I thought. You've already... Many years ago, I was forged by a famed bladesmith of the Ishin tradition. I was his as a descendant of the Kaedehara clan. You should be able...
I presume it has something to do with the Raiden Go...
Indeed. At that point in time, he failed to live up to the Raiden Shogun's expectations. In the end, he was a bladesmith of great renown, a master of his craft. There was nothing that... And sure enough, in the end, he achieved what he had set out to do. All of his life's work. He not only bestowed upon me the greatest of strength. In her conceit, the Raiden Shogun lost not only the single most perfect blade in the entire world...
So... swords?
The people of the time in which I was born never believed I had that kind of power. They saw me as a mere... After the death of my creator, I decided to leave Snezhnaya and began my long quest to return to the distant land of Inazuma. I seek but one thing: to face the full force of the Raiden Shogun's blade and prove my power.
So Amenoma Yuya was not... Tell me, what happens to those you've possessed when you've...
My hosts? Who cares what happens to them? They are but... When they got tired, or injured, or unusable, I hopped to the next one in line.
You're...
After I returned to Inazuma, I decided to bide my time in Nagato's warehouse, until, at long last, I'm approaching my journey's destination. Kaedehara Kazuha, you... Now...
Wind Strider!
We shall rewrite history! We shall rewrite history!
Wind Strider!
We shall rewrite his... Do not stand in my way, or I will...
Your bluffs!
Lost. I can never lose. It is this body that is... Even if you defeat me here, the one who falls will... He is but a puppet that can be replaced. The end result is the same! I will end this wretch's life if... And even if I were to lose my physical form, it is by any means necessary, and any medium...
Your fighting style. It is indeed the forms of Ish... But from your movements, I sense only hatred and arrogance.
Really? You can tell all...
As I've mentioned before, the forms of Ishin art. Since the blade is currently possessing Amenoma Yuya's body, its movements... If you ask me, the mania is probably due to your desperate, single-minded ambition.
Are you trying to claim that I am helpless without you? On his deathbed, he passed to me all of Ishin art's secrets. In that regard, why would I ever need your...
Because all of that is in the past. I've been wondering why you've not caused more trouble in all the years that you've been in Inazuma. If you are indeed a cursed blade that can possess it, now that I've seen inside your mind, everything finally makes sense. After all the time that's passed, you have grown weak. To the point that you are now unable...
Oh, that's right! Paimon remembers now! Mr. Nagato had a habit of never...
Only when Mr. Nagato witnessed his wife's distress and decided to sell his collectibles did you finally have an opportunity to reach...
And what of it?
Well, that brings me to my second point. There's a You were determined to fulfill your maker's ambition, whatever the cost. But this ambition is too grand and too heavy. I think you realized your limitations long ago. The more you clenched your teeth and pressed forward, the greater your fear. But the way I see it, what began as an ambition...
What would you know about any of this? I'm just one...
You returned to Inazuma to prove the unparalleled brilliance of Ishin art. But to make this arduous journey, you committed even if you were to sever that divine light. Is this truly the outcome that you're making? Sure, you inherited the secrets of Ishin art. But even as you made your journey to honor this legacy, you treated the ones who... How could you possibly unleash the full potential of Ishin art when you act in perfect discordance with the principle...
Silence, you blabbering... I must achieve my goal. This was his... I will concede that you are most perceptive. You see my predicament clear...
And you should face reality.
Easy for you to say. Facing reality up... I have no need of anything that would stand in my way. Not hesitation. It is pointless to argue further. Descendant of the
How stubbornly you stick to your wayward... I do not believe for a second that you can challenge the almighty Shogun in your current state.
What? Surely you're not playing...
Very well. Then find yourself some enemies with whom you wish to cross. Once we have dealt with them, we shall proceed.
And as for your end of the bargain, if you lose...
I accept.
Don't do this, Kazuha!
This is the only way to save Amenoma Yuya. The Cursed Blade's strength is currently very weak, and I sense he's... The power of the Tatarigami Even if things take a turn for the worse, we have a chance here to save an innocent victim.
Your disdain for me betrays your woeful now.
Kazuha?
I felt a little dizzy at first, but it's all right. So far, this was as... I will.
What should we do next? Have you...
We find some enemies. Although this blade has endured much turmoil, it probably hasn't... If a blade built for Ishii... If he wants to avoid reality...
Wait a minute! Paimon remembers hearing about something from... Since the Takasukasa clan abandoned that secret base...
All right.
What about Amenoma?
The blade says he'll let Amenoma Yuya trail us silently.
Are we sure this is a good idea? Okay, fine.
Leave everything on this journey to me. Wind Strider!
Let's get down to business.
Fallen leaves, adorn my night! Wind Strider! I'm all right. The blade is performing largely as I expected. Though he's making every effort to persevere, I do not think...
Something else on your mind?
How strange. Rather than try... Let's keep going.
Lucky day. Let's get down to business.
As one with wind and cloud.
Very.
Whoa! Something's up with the blade!
I can sense that his strength is slowly fading away. He cannot hold out much longer. If he keeps persisting, he will likely break apart at any moment.
But what would that do to...
I will be careful with it. He also says he's still trying... Wind Strider!
Are you okay?
Yes. And
The sheen's grown a bit dimmer again.
perhaps this time we'll finally have a chance to see...
True form? What are you talking about? Is this the same blade as before? It looks like a piece of...
If you choose to continue in the state you're in, you wouldn't even be able to beat... Maybe you did truly wield power to rival the It barely needs stating anymore. Your ambition is a flight of fancy. I've finally figured out why it was that you wanted to reach a state of harmony with me. For perhaps then you would but regrettably we are nothing alike. I will never understand your obstinacy and the only one who truly understood you had already...
There they are! Take them down!
Where do they keep Yup. We can...
Don't worry. I'll use... It's just...
Let's get down to business. To the very...
You fought way better with your own sword.
You are a true Kaedehara in flesh and in spirit. No one knew anything of my story throughout my travels, nor did I tell it to anyone. I thought that if I could achieve Ishin harmony with you, Perhaps.
But in this too, you have failed.
Indeed. No matter how hard I tried, I could not attain that. Too much time has passed. My physical state is poor and without proper maintenance. Yours is the blade that took on the...
Actually, this is just a generic blade that I picked up during my travels in Liyue. Forging and maintenance are both important for a blade, but they are not. This blade has traveled the land with me for many years, and we have formed a close bond during that time. Skill, blade, determination, and desire. All these must be aligned in the practice of Ishin art. There is something else I must tell you. Though your maker may not have Tatarigami as a malevolence from the ancient past, though you tried to cooperate with me while I was wielding you, the part of you driven by Tatarigami was...
I sensed it, but I couldn't change it.
I resisted its temptations because I wanted to save Amenoma Yuya. But I feel a great sense of regret for you. The moment you embarked on this journey, you lost the only person who could have ever unleashed your true potential. You have known this for a long time. It is the true source of your despair.
He gave me everything. How could I possibly deny? I said to him, "Do not worry, from here on."
Aww.
I believe our bet is now settled.
Where are you going, Kazuha?
He now has neither the ability nor the motivation to cause further harm. When I touched the hilt for the first time, it's as if I was transported to a bladesmith lay quietly on the bed, his frail face barely visible under the moonlight. A newly forged blade lay by his side, listening attentively.
Wow, that was the...
Indeed. While in exile in Snezhnaya, the bladesmith eventually learned the truth behind everything that had happened. He spent the rest of his life in the forge, not to vent his frustration and hatred. He felt intense regret at being tricked by the Fatui, but he could never again return to his homeland. His sole wish was to one day return his single, so he instructed this sentient blade to find a way back to Inazuma, no matter how. All he wanted to show was that they once shone brilliantly as blades.
So that's... But after that, the blacksmith's intention...
Right. I believe the bladesmith might never have known that the power he worked with was that of the Tatarigami. This blade has committed unforgivable atrocities, but only because it lost its original master. Yes, time would not wait or stop because of his determination. While the world moved on, his ambition remained stubborn. He seems to have calmed down, though.
When I look back at the past, I can remember that I once told him that I would pay any price to fulfill his wishes. Such was the debt I owed to him for giving me. But darkness and slaughter numbed the mind. Over time, I lost. Not only did I fail to fulfill his ambition.
You are finally seeing reality clearly.
Since we agreed to the terms of the bet, I will honor the agreement. But I still cannot bring myself to forsake his ambition. So, may I ask you to help me fulfill...
Hey! Now you're adding yours into the mix, too?
It has to be done in this order. At least hear what I have to say. And if you don't agree, my physical form, as well as the knowledge I possess, should still be of some value to you.
His attitude has grown. What do you think, Kazuha?
Let's hear it.
Thank you all. When I was first forged, my maker was already terminally ill. He took... Alas, after that, he never rose from his sick... Nor have I ever had the chance to prove my fights were devoid of any noble meaning. They were merely the next step in my... You are a fine warrior. I would like to request your hand in...
Oh? And who would...
I will release Amenoma Yuya and restore his consciousness. Perhaps after... He must have plenty of reasons to both hate...
Understood. Then let's start by waking him up and...
I see. He used... I utterly despise him and his actions. But since he stayed true to your agreement by release, if a duel can help to set this state of affairs in order, I do not wish to be a mere victim in this story.
There's no need to worry. We'll vouch for your innocence.
Thanks for your help. Who knows how this would have ended with...
All right, then let's move on. More Ronin could appear at any moment. We can't stay here. In any case, for a final duel, I think we should aim for a
This reminds Paimon a bit of the Crux Clash. Yep, we still can't let our guard down. Even if he's way past... Are you ready?
Ready? Okay. Successor of Ishin Art.
Successor of Amenoma Art.
Honored to cross blades.
It is my honor.
One with nature. It's fine. Into the wind.
Thank you for the experience. Although he appears battered and broken, in your hands, his sense of savage cruelty has completely faded.
You also fought well. I'm sure There are a few things that I shall leave him to tell you.
I must apologize to you for all that...
You need not seek my forgiveness. Nor do I have the right to forgive you on your It is too late for all...
I do not wish for forgiveness. I only hope that you will see my transgressions as mine alone, and not let... I strayed far from the straight and narrow path, but the Ishin art still has... I beseech you.
Yes. I too trust Mr. Kaedehara.
Thank you, successor of...
This blade has also told me that he has another wish. He would like to visit. Maybe we can go back there together.
What does he want?
I'm not sure, but I think that all...
I am sorry to have troubled you. It's all thanks to them that I w-
A prized Ishin blade. Considering their forging philosophy, this would... But I have some good news as well. Ryuji from the Bonton Song...
Really?
Yes. Badly wounded. And now that Yuya is back, it seems like the...
I think I know what you want to do.
What's wrong, Kazuha? Is the blade whispering?
Yes. He said he wants to take control of...
What? No way!
He tells me that he's thought of another way to fulfill his maker. I have decided...
But... He... Guess there's...
Thank you. I will explain... Okay. I am ready. Let us...
My power is almost spent. Without him, my eventual demise is inevitable. But if I abandon the future to give everything I have in this moment, my physical form can be forged anew.
Everything? You mean...
Yes. The cost is my entire consciousness. You were right. There's nothing that I can accomplish now. But there's still a chance for Ishin art. Once remade, I will be a valuable resource for your studies. Ishin lives on, and its finest hour is yet to come. Even if I am not the one to prove its might to the Shogun, as long as it is an Ishin blade, crafted by Kaedehara hands, it will still fulfill his final wish. Thank you, son of the Kaedehara clan. Over the years, my real name has been forgotten by all. I'm ashamed to utter it, yet it remains strong in my mind. Kagotsurube Ishin. This name is now yours to keep.
Rest in peace.
So, that's why he said his consciousness will disappear forever after...
Kagotsurube Ishin. It seems like deep down he disapproved of his own actions. Only in the final moments, before his consciousness faded, was he willing to entrust it to us.
Seems like he really, really wanted to fulfill his maker's wish.
The same fervent ambition that gave him the motivation to keep going forward also fueled, speaking for myself. I'd rather see him recognize and atone for his mistakes than I understand. Perhaps this is a flaw in my personality. Hearing his wish to rival the divine light touched something inside of me. Just at your quest to face the gods and trace your sin. After everything I've seen, perhaps these pursuits I will continue to support you from this point on.
Wait! Shouldn't we also go up...
Oh, you're right. And it's also time to give him a response to the...
You've returned. I hear that the issue has been resolved. Though this was the Tenryou Commission has already attended to the danger at the warehouse. The investigation into Amanoma Yuya should conclude soon.
Wow! You sure kept...
Then we needn't recount all the details again. Now, as to your earlier offer, I wish to give you my answer.
What's this?
Kagotsurube Ishin, a weapon crafted using a long-lost blade forging art. By means of a series of fortuitous events, I was able to recover and restore him. And so, it looks like I will likely continue with my journey across the nations.
I see.
The Kaedahara clan has always been a family of bladesmiths, so it is only proper for me to continue. Were I to accept your goodwill, I may find myself embroiled in conflicts between the shogunate and...
You misunderstand. That was most certainly not our...
I am aware, but I still desire to...
Very well, I can understand. Then let's pretend this off. However, if you should ever change your mind or find yourself in need of the shogun...
Great.
Where will you travel to next, Kazuma?
I'll probably take... As for my next destination, let's see where the wind takes me.
You must have a whole bunch of questions after our last conversation with Nahida. Like, about these descenders. So, does that just mean people like you? And as for your sister... Whew. So many questions. Let's go find Nahida and see what else we can find out.
Add Astra...
Cool it! This moment will be frozen in time.
Let's spark.
Let it rain.
Freeze!
Wind blade!
Cool it!
You're in for a little
Freeze!
Disappear!
What's the... Cool it!
Wind blade!
Dodge this!
Come a little close.
A reward on the road.
Windblade!
Is this an answer from this world?
Right. Yeah. Windblade! Cool it! Dodge this!
I'll keep this close.
Windblade!
I won't get ready for the gliding champion of Mondstadt.
Hard work is all there is to the craft.